Peace. Welcome to the YouTube live book reading of The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality by Dr. Cheikh Anta and translated and edited by Mercer Cook. Divine Rising, Happy Father's Day. Yes. Happy Father's Day, family. And sending all the love in the world to all my friends and family, the fathers that are, I have so many great people in my life that are fathers, and so grateful to have you as friends and family. So I wanted to come on here, start this one off with a peaceful, beautiful reading to all the people and fathers out there, mothers as well, because some of you play both. So honor, respect, and love to you. Peace, you too. I'm your moderator and narrator, Uriel Riley. And this is the beginning of chapter 8. Yes. Chapter 8 of this book. We pick up on page 156. Chapter 8 is Arguments Opposing a Negro Origin. You see, I got my dad hat. It's my favorite hat. And when I go see Bubbles, I always make sure I take that one with me. So grateful and thankful. All right. Here we go. Chapter 8. This is the 32nd reading of this book. If Blacks created Egyptian civilization, how can we explain their present decline? That question makes no sense, for we could say as much about the fellas and cops who are supposed to be the direct descendants of the Egyptians and who today are at the same backward stage as other blacks, if not more so. Nevertheless, this does not excuse us from explaining how the technical, scientific, and religious civilizations of Egypt was transformed as it adjusted to new conditions in the rest of Africa. Around the Mother Valley, states developed very early, though we cannot fix the exact date of their appearance. By successive migrations as time passed, blacks slowly penetrated into the heart of the continent, spreading out in all directions and dislodging the pygmies. They founded states which developed and maintained relations with the Mother Valley until it was stifled by the foreigner. From south to north, these were Nubia and Egypt. From north to south, Nubia and Zimbabwe. From east to west, Nubia, Ghana, Ife. From east to southwest, Nubia, Chad, the Congo. From west to east, Nubia and Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, and Nubia, completely Negro territory, we still find a profusion of stone monuments such as obelisks, temples, pyramids. Temples and pyramids are found exclusively in the Meroitic Sudan. We have already stressed the dominant role played by that country in spreading civilization to Black Africa. We need not return to that subject. To modern minds, the term Ethiopia conjures up Addis Ababa. Here again, we must insist on the fact that In this region, except for one obelisk and two pedestals of statues, nothing is found. The civilization of Aksum, former capital of Ethiopia, is more a word than a reality attested by historical monuments. It is in the Meroitic Sudan Sinar that temples and pyramids, 84 abound. Thus, place names have been falsified to provide a more or less Oriental and discreetly Asiatic origin by way of the Bab el Mandeb. For Negro Egyptian civilization, in reality, we must react against a whole terminology. Chamites or Hamites, Oriental and Ethiopian and even African are in modern historical writing euphemisms, enabling one to speak of Negro Sudanese Egyptian civilization without once using the term Negro or Black. In Zimbabwe, which may well be an extension of the land of the Macrobian Ethiopians mentioned by Herodotus, we find ruins of monuments and cities built of stone, with the falcons represented over a radius of 100 to 200 miles around Victoria, writes D.P. de Pedros, page 116. In other words, those ruins extend over a diameter almost as great as that of France. In the region of Ghana, Pedros, page 61, also speaks of the city of Kukia, which the Tariq S. Sudan claims already existed at the time of the pharaoh. Louis Desplagne, who excavated in that area, reported vestiges of it. The same author also mentioned the site of Kumbi or Kumbai, excavated by a French district officer, Banel de Mézère, who discovered tombs of great dimensions, sarcophagi of schist, metallurgic workshops, ruins of towers, and of various buildings. We can still distinguish clearly the outline of an avenue bordered by houses with walls more than 1 meter or 1.5 meters above ground. The roofs have collapsed. Farther on, a strip of flat ground for a public square with walls which seem to have once supported upper floors. Sometimes the buildings are so well preserved that little would be needed to make them livable again. The building lines are still visible because of the presence of hewn stone. All around remains of a low enclosure. Outside the tombs, bits of pottery everywhere, pearls, red copper debris. Some distance away on a laterite plateau, traces of a metallurgic workshop. The other constructions are complicated. One consists of 5 rooms, 4 meters deep, with communicating halls. The masonry is perfect. The walls are 30 centimeters thick. Pedros, page 62. Down at the bottom of page 157. Highest heart love. Happy Father's Day. Made sure come on in general up a peaceful reading for all of you and to all the mothers and fathers out there. We honor you. Divine days and nights. Peace, peace. Live from the light. Down at the bottom of page 157. Here we go. In the Lake Debo region in Mali, on the Niger, pyramids are also found, and these were dubbed mounds. As might be expected, this is the usual procedure in the attempt to disparage African values. In contrast, There is the reverse procedure consisting of describing a clay tumulus, a real mound in Mesopotamia, as the most perfect temple that the human mind can imagine. It goes without saying that such reconstructions are generally mere wishful thinking. Yeah. Thank you for the likes and subs. We're pushing towards 700 on this peaceful part of YouTube, reading books and honoring our friends and family with that information, as well as learning from masters. So, highest heart, love, and honor, gratitude for reading books with us. Page 158 at the top of this now eighth chapter. On the other hand, here is what Pedrols has to say about the pyramids of the Sudan. These are massive clusters of clay and stone in the form of truncated pyramids with a terracotta summit of red brick. All of them date from the same chronological period and were built for the same purpose. They rise from 15 to 18 meters high on the base of 200 square meters. Desplagne excavated one of these mounds on the site of El Walaje at the confluence of the Issa and Bara Issa in the Central Park. He discovered a mortuary chamber oriented east-west, 6 meters at its longest part and 2.5 meters at its widest. In the chamber, on a sandy bed around a large jar, Desplanges found numerous pieces of pottery, two human skeletons, jewels, weapons, swords, knives, arrowheads, and spearheads, beads, pearls, earthenware, figurines representing animals, and finally, awls and bone needles. The pearls were made of a glassy blue paste, covered either by whitish spiral bands or by enameled incrustations resembling Egyptian glass on the Middle Empire, Tel Amarna. The pottery indicates a ceramics industry, much more advanced than that of the present inhabitants of the area. The metalwork is likewise excellent, judging from the jewels of precious metal, sometimes in filigree. From the IBID, pages 59 through 60. It is impossible to describe here all the riches of the civilization of Ife. They are such that Frobenius, following the usual pattern, vainly sought an external white origin for them. In the Nile Valley, civilization resulted from man's adaptation to that particular milieu, as declared by the ancients and by the Egyptians themselves. It originated in Nubia. And here, verse 1 of the 8th chapter. They attested to it themselves. You don't have to go further looking when the people that did it are telling you they did it. Just because you don't know how they did it, you know, that's another question. But questioning the people that actually did it is the most wildest thing ever. They're always trying to look for something to see themselves in it. And we understand that, you know. But what you can see yourself in with things is the humanity. That's why I made the harmonic vibrational manual. To, so you can see the humanity in others and feel it and hear it and see it in your voice. And then you can distinguish in others. It's always very easy to recognize someone that's in pain as opposed to someone that is in joy. In the Nile Valley, civilization resulted from man's adaptations to the particular Milu, as declared by the ancients and by the Egyptians themselves. It originated in Nubia. This is confirmed by our knowledge that the basic elements of Egyptian civilization are neither in Lower Egypt, nor in Asia, nor in Europe, but in Nubia and the heart of Africa. Moreover, that is where we find the animals and plants represented in hieroglyphic writing. The Egyptians usually measured the height of the floodwaters with a nilometer, and from it they deduced the annual yield of the harvests by mathematical calculation. The calendar was astronomy, also resulted from that sedentary farm life. Adaptation to the physical surroundings gave birth to certain hygienic measures. Mummification to avoid epidemics of the plague from the Delta, fasting, diets, and so on, which gradually led to medicine coming into existence. The development of social life and exchanges required the invention and use of writing. So important to keep track of some of the farming and items and seeds and plants and cattle. That sedentary life breeds writing, especially making tributes. Divine Aid. Oh, happy Father's Day. I see him coming through. Wow. So many messages. I have so many messages right now. Happy Father's Day to all the delightful fathers showing your children the way. We honor you. Oh, another one. Highest heart love. Happy Father's Day. Peace, peace. We're going to enjoy this wonderful day. All right. Sedentary life led to the intuitions, institutions of private property, and a whole ethic summarized in the questions asked the deceased at the tribunal of Osiris. This code of ethics was the opposite of the warlike predatory habits of the Eurasian nomads. Told you, he built them all in peace, wasn't at war. Those people that are angry, always upset, those are the people that always want war, always upset. And it's normally coming from them being upset with themselves, not having the things that they wanted, being confused, being frustrated, so on and so forth. This breeds anger. And so when you're living in a farm life, like how we grew up, you're very content and happy with having your brother and sister and mother and father, cousins, aunts and uncles, grandmothers and your own little space. That's all you really need. You're not looking for trying to be the richest or, have the most of this. No, you get up early, work out, help out in the farm, and you're happy with your life. You're not confused. You know where you come from. People that are confused don't know where they come from, have these different types of affinities for things outside of themselves. They become more like mind, nomads, just traveling and causing ruckus wherever they go. That's why we read books on this channel. Can't judge a book by its cover, and you can read into it, see that it's more than it is. When, as a consequence of the overpopulation of the valley and of social upheavals, the Negroes of the Nile penetrated more deeply into the interior of the continent, they were to encounter new physical and geographical conditions. A given practice, instrument, technique, or science, formerly indispensable on the banks of the Nile, was no longer vitally needed on the Atlantic coast, on the banks of the Congo and the Zambezi. Thus, it is understandable that certain factors of Negro culture in the Nile Valley may have disappeared in the interior, while other factors, not the least fundamental ones, have lasted until our day. We'll pause right here, pick back up with the African origin of civilization, myth or reality. Thank you so much for being here and reading books with us on this wonderful Father's Day, honoring all the wonderful fathers and magnificent role models of fatherhood, manhood in our lives. Thank you so much. Reading books with us. Yes. Let's have a glass of love water. Cheers to our fathers and grandfathers. Love you so much. Kevin Jonathan Riley is my dad. An amazing man. My first superhero is my dad. My dad's just growing up. I just looked at him as the strongest, smartest, just like a perfect man. And sending love and honor to those fathers that we've lost. Demetrius Pohl, celebrated way too early. Love you, cousin. Stephen Riley, Uncle Man Riley. We love you. Thank you so much, Uncle Man, teaching us so much. Love you. Theron, sending love to you. Aunt Dolores, eyes heart. Love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Marvin Carter, Andre Carter, Jason Poles, Nicholas Dwayne Ingram, Rick Hammond, Tyron Mills, Tuffy Mills, Chris Williams, Chuck Williams, Wow. Chris and Chuck Carter. And go on and on. Cordell Dodge, Melvin Moore, Anta Yadam, Justin Newell. Magnificent fathers. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day every day for us. And we know it. But thank you for staying strong and being honorable. Hi, it's Heart Love. I sing I love you to all those wonderful fathers out there. Love you so much, Uncle Wilbur, Uncle Allen. Ay, 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 ay. Love, love you. Ay, 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 ay. Love you, 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 you. I love you, 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 you. You know it, 'cause I love myself. We are shaking it up on YouTube, reading books. Definitely. And we just hit a new chapter. Another message. Happy Father's Day. I love it. One of my favorite days is honoring the real thoroughbreds in my life, like the men and fathers, friends that I have. So, wishing the best for you. Remember, especially when it comes to elevating our game, breaking patterns, and starting new ones. Very hard, very, very key gem, right? You can write this one down. Hard things break hard things. Hear that? Wake it up. It's not supposed to be easy. That's why we do this work. People say, Uriel, that's heavy stuff you be reading. You know, and I'm like, well, you learn from being a fitness trainer and a master fitness trainer. It's only heavy if you haven't been lifting it. See, been lifting this information as well as myself around the globe, mastering thyself. So I'm strong enough to lift it and carry it and give it away. That's what we do with the baton. We hand it off. Right? And that's what we're doing with this information. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you when we reconvene. Peace, peace.